Hey Dylan, how are you? I hope you're doing good. I've tried to make this a bunch of times and I have completely messed up every single time. So I'm gonna just record a tree and hope that I can get out what I'm trying to say. Now, I made this channel so we can make short, quick videos kind of explaining what's on our mind so we can essentially virtually talk, if that makes sense, without having to make calls or write letters for the little things that we think are a little bit more important than little things. Anyways, today I want to talk about Kant and how his preface to his preface on his understanding of morals really relates to what I've been trying to say about truth, and to hopefully hear a response from you or a response in your letter. So I don't want to drag on for a long time about Kant because he is extremely difficult to understand, hardest philosopher I've ever read, and he uses a lot of words. So I'm going to try to simplify this as much as I can. Basically, Kant divides philosophy up into three sciences. You have logic, you have physics, and you have ethics. Logic is just the pure understanding, the universal law of thought, the form of understanding, things like that. There's no experience based to logic. It is pure philosophy. He calls this formal knowledge. Now, you have material knowledge, which consists of ethics and physics. All you need to know about this is he says within ethics and physics, there's two parts. You have your empirical part, or your part based on experience, and then you have your pure part, your rational part. Now, he says just like how a business divides up tasks among individuals, letting an individual specialize in a certain task rather than having every employee be a jack of all trades, and how that type of labor division increases efficiency and stuff like that, we too should distinguish empirical ethics from pure ethics, get a good understanding of both, rather than having this weird convoluted understanding that incorporates aspects of both empirical ethics and pure ethics. Now, I know I just jumped over a lot and tried to simplify something that shouldn't have been simplified, but the point is, I want you to get this idea, because I don't think you've read Kant yet, but you want to read him, that ethics has two parts, or rather physics and ethics both have two parts: an empirical part, a part based on experience, and then a logical part, a pure part, a part that is just universal laws of ethics, of physics, that have nothing to do with experience. Now, when I read this, I was able to finally understand, or rather Kant was able to put into words what I've been trying to say about truth. You see, what I've been trying to say about truth is that there's an empirical part of truth, a part that is purely based on the human experience, the understanding of human beings, something that is not transcendental to humans, if that makes sense. But I also think there's a pure form of truth, a truth that is just a part of everything which we cannot define with our own language. That's why I've had such an issue defining it, and my definition of being the perfect reflection in reality of the perfect definition of an object doesn't really work out. It's because we can't perfectly define it because our language can't do so. We need philosophy and greater, longer understandings of truth in general to be able to give any sort of definition to truth. I don't know if this is making sense, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, just like how Kant divides ethics into two subdivisions of empirical ethics and pure ethics, I think there is empirical truth and pure truth. Now, why is this important? Kant goes on to argue that we ought to get a fundamental understanding of of pure ethics instead of empirical ethics, and act in accordance to that. And I think we should get a fundamental understanding of pure truth and act in accordance to that as well. Anyways, I've rambled for a bit. I want to hear what you think on this. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon.